Now what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the mobile app. We've had a previous weekly webinar where we've discussed a lot of the functionalities of the app. So I'm not going to focus too much on that. Let us know if you'd like to retrieve the information on the app functionalities. Today, just like we spoke about earlier, I'm going to focus how you can use this app specifically for sponsors to help you drive more revenue. So first thing first, I'm going to take our demo app, but as a side note, of course, this could be fully branded as well to your logos. And I'm going to sign into the app to start discussing the different functionalities. The first thing that actually pops up is the main thing that we see clients using for sponsorship, and that would be the splash ads. Splash ads are basically taking over your full screen, grabbing everyone's attention, and it's a very popular way of promoting sponsorship. It can have their logo in here. It can have information that, once you click on, it takes me to an external website, let's say, with their details. And not only is it branding, but also lead capture, because anyone that clicks on this, we will be able to go back to that sponsor and say, here's how well your ad was performing. This is the number of people that interacted with your product, with your, the ads that we've added. Total clicks, unique clicks with the raw data are all captured and given back to these sponsors.
Yeah. While we're on this subject, Stephanie, there's a question that's come in from the chat. One of the things that they are asking as well is like, what leads can be exported? Because at an in-person event, sure, I can capture leads as well if I exchange business cards with someone, but what are some of the other ways that I can capture that data like you were talking about, as well as export the different information that's available?
Absolutely. I'm going to walk you through that in just a minute. We're going to use our QR code functionality to exchange that contact information, as opposed to the traditional way of business cards that tend to get lost and there's no ability to take notes. So we'll streamline how that could be done with our technology and how these could be exported as well.
Awesome.
Perfect. Let's actually get to that. Just one thing before that, on the note of the splash ads, while we're talking about the ads in general. So aside from that option, we also do offer banner ads. So banner ads are what you're seeing at the bottom of the page here. And these could either rotate one after the other sequentially, or manually, I could skip through them and learn more about the different sponsors that you have. Once again, every click is captured and we'll be able to generate the analytics on all of these, on all of the engagements. Now, let's address the question that you got, Spencer, in the chat. It's by the way, a very important question, because it's basically a question about lead capture. How are they capturing these leads? And we mentioned earlier that there's a QR code functionality to it. This center here, what we're seeing, that's the QR capability that we're talking about. Everyone at the event has access to this. And the QR code gives us two functionalities: to scan someone's code and then to walk up to you, Spencer, and then show you my unique QR code on the phone or on the badge that I'm wearing. And this QR code basically has all of the information captured on registration. So for sponsors, if it's important for them to know what kind of products I'm typically interested in, or maybe geographic location, anything that is important to them could be captured on registration. And then once the QR codes are exchanged, they will have all of that attendee details with the user information.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. One of the questions that I have, and maybe it's just for my clarification, is like, let's say someone didn't exactly share that, hey, I'm interested in this product, or they didn't talk with the sponsor, because I know that there's things that you're going to talk about later, like after the conversation's already happened with a sponsor. But one of the questions that I personally have is like, if I can track the people who viewed a specific area of the event, would that help to generate more? Because I've seen a lot of companies talk about like intent data almost, where it provides a lot of added value. Is that something that we can do as well, as not only track how many people are at the event or submitted an inquiry, but also people who just viewed those as well?
Absolutely. Everything can be captured in terms of the people that actually registered for the event, expressed interest, but couldn't make it at the event, or they actually showed up at the event. And even if they did not interact with that sponsor, did they view their documents? Did they click on different resources that they've added? We can export all of that as well. There's very in-depth analytics that is all backed with the raw data. And the raw data is their contact information, and all of the details you'll require to make the next step and prospect into these leads.
Yeah, that's awesome. I could definitely see that being a useful tool for a lot of people who are having sponsorships as well, because their lead generation list or the leads that they've exported have gone from like maybe 50 people to like 150 or 250 people. So that's awesome.
Exactly. And this is the list, Spencer, where basically if I was a sponsor and I scanned you at the event, all of those leads are going to be appearing in my contacts tab. Now, probably I had maybe a more interesting conversation with one person more than the other. So that's where the favorites comes in place. So if you and I have discussed anything about next steps, or we had, a conversation on how we're going to move forward, I could retrieve your contact details immediately by searching through my favorites. And to answer your earlier question as well, all of these could be exported. You can export all of the leads, your favorites only. So all of that could be all of the takeaways, basically the data and analytics from the event. Sponsors have access to them right away once the event is over.